Hi Scorpios, welcome to your reading for June 2023. How is it going? I hope you guys are doing well. While I was meditating, I had energy. I was tuning in. I was like, okay. Oh, it's that type of reading. I'm gonna get some cards out and I'm gonna see the depth of what they, what I'm tuning in to what they want to talk about, but I kind of want to see how deep they want to go. So let's see. King of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, and we have the Queen of Wands. The Ace of Wands. All right, really good. A lot of Wands energies. That full moon and Sag energy. It's coming true. Another ace. Damn, Scorpio. Okay, Four of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Four of Cups and the Knight of Wands. All right, so what I was tuning into is I felt like you guys went through a situation for quite some time where you had to endure almost a certain level of misalignment. You weren't in alignment, but you were showing up. You just had to make it through another week, through another month, through another day, and you've enlightened or almost put on a setting within you in order to cope and to just go and put your head down, make those hours, or show up for that therapy session in whatever way, shape, or form. There were these practical things because it was like a sort of a habit and a thing and a coping mechanism with the 3D world, with a reality that you were just simply had to get through or push yourself through before you made the shift and the change, before you could get to the other side of things. And then once we get to the other side of things, of course, there is a form of release and there's a form of change and there's a form of openness of ourselves and to new energy and going with that. And there's a sense of a form of victory, a form of proving ourselves that, see, we went through it. Now let's go and focus our energy here. Now let's try it differently. But sometimes we are not always just as aware of how those phases in our life and those coping mechanisms, the way that the survival mode almost we go into, how that can drip and spread into multiple areas of our life without us even consciously noticing it all. So if you start coping, for example, at work, what happens is that just one more birthday, just one more thing, just one more thing to say yes to. Let me just put this then and put that. Like I feel like that's something that they were showing me. And I don't know if you guys hear that music, but I think it's a car with music. Hope it's gonna go away quickly. I feel that that's just something that they wanted me to make you aware of. It's like, be conscious about that, because June for you, it is about opening up your energy and looking at those habits and those things that normally you may just sweep under the rug, like, oh, it's fine, I'll just deal with it. It's way more drama like not to do it or not to go than actual to go and just one more thing. But it's time for you to take back that power over your wants and your own needs, and that's what you're doing, because you are definitely showing up as the Queen of Wands in the middle of your reading. And first and foremost, I'm reclaiming my own personal power. I am determined to make some changes. I'm determined to get myself from this point to that point. And so there's something that you need that inner warrior energy for, because you have this determination, and that's beautiful. And it's all channeled through really good energy, because you're being granted by the universe the tools in order to make that happen. Your intention and the energy that you are in and you're coming from, Scorpio, is a very, very, very good energy to deal with. All right. So what I'm also sensing is that you, I almost felt like that other situation almost came from a space of, I gotta make money. So I'm just there, I show up, make money, you know. It's just about the money, basically. It's about the finances, but you are slowly but surely understanding that it doesn't have to be that way. Like you can definitely be financial secure and have work, or a companionship, or build with someone who's equally invested in you, and like an employer that actually also is taking care of your needs in a in the sense of like they have extra days off, or they have like things they do for their employees, and to just make them feel appreciated, and they have like bonus things going on, and it's just way more conscious and aware that people are there by choice, right? Like you're not, well, I hope not. You're not nobody's like prisoner. Like if you don't no longer align with your job, then maybe it takes a little bit of time, and you can make the free choice to actually go and find something else. So I feel like there's much more a healthy balance, and I'm sensing that this, once again, this positive change in one area, and you see a change starts to also spread then on other areas of your life again. So there's this beautiful way of learning to understand your own inner conversation and your own inner guidance on a new level, trusting that. And also I feel like you have the ability to disconnect from a part of yourself and put your head down and go. And because you have that ability, sometimes a part of you feels very disconnected and very neglected. And there might be some self-sabotaging behavior from that. It's like you're doing one more thing and one more thing because it needs to be worth your wow of actually having this neglect within your sense of self. So if the validation from the outside source comes in, or in whatever way, shape, or form, you feel almost like you have a reason why you would neglect yourself in some way, shape, or form. But I'm sensing that regardless of how things can show up, and can make you feel that it's worth it, in the end of the day, you realizing that being whole and feeling connected to that sense of self, and not feeling that lack or neglect within yourself by your own doing, or by choices that you're making, or feeling that putting others' needs and wants above yourself for a long period of time, and what that does within you, and how much effect that has on your happiness and your fulfillment and your emotional well-being, and the self-care and the self-love and your confidence, and all of those things that the Queen of Wands brings. Like, it's too expensive. I spoke about that last year, I think. If it takes your inner peace, it's too expensive. It's not only your inner peace, it's like way more areas at one point that it's starting to grab and take a hold on you. And I'm sensing this sense of freedom. It's like, if it's not also taking care of this and that part of myself, I don't want it. And you're pretty determined on, well, June is really going to put you in that seat, in that saddle, basically, of like, I'm determined to make something work. So I don't know if you have something new in your life that you really want to just, go and get, but the determination is definitely there, and it's a want energy. So it's from a place of deep inner guidance, and this is like this primal instinct almost, and it's not out of fear that you're running away. You really are running towards something, Scorpio, and that's starting to affect you more and more in the month of June. It's very, very happy that they put it in this way, because I was sensing almost like I wasn't afraid, but it's like it could have shown up in a different way, and then we had to have a more in-depth conversation about that. But let's see what else shows up. Beautiful. Okay, now Scorpio, 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles, beautiful. We'll talk about that. I have one sticking out here. Beautiful. The Chariot. These cards, Scorpio. It's like if you're dealing with someone who's working on their own emotional independence or in form of independence within their own lives, you're like, okay. In June, you're like, fine. Okay. Like, then I'm just gonna go here, I'm gonna run there. And it's not about like, oh, you do this and I'll do that. So no, like you're okay with having an independent person next to you. That's actually making you feel much more closer. Like when you both are just out there doing your thing, focusing on something individually that you want to gain in your own life, your own sense of self, and you have a partner and have a partnership where that other person also has that level of independence or worked through their traumas or is conscious and aware about them and knows how to communicate that to you and takes the responsibility for it and to heal and to focus on their own sense of independence. It's like, no, it's like a match made in heaven. But when you are feeling that you need something from their clinginess to you, like their dependingness on you, and that's something that you receive a feeling of connection from subconsciously, I'm not saying it's very conscious. That's the moment where if somebody retreats a little bit and and works on their own individual sense of self, it makes you feel neglected. But that's not the case when I'm sensing in the month of June. It's like, no, you can appreciate someone's independence. Like, you can appreciate that they're out there doing that thing. It's like, that's my bae, like, out there doing that thing. It makes you feel less, smothered. The Tower. Why is the Tower here? Let's see. Why is the Tower there? Knight of Swords and a 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Go from the 9 into the 10 of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. Beautiful. 4 of Wands and the Star card. What is really important in this connection that I'm sensing with this person, this doesn't have to be necessarily a romantic relationship. It could be a different form of relationship, but for some of you, it really is that one-on-one, partnership. What's very important is that you have the uncomfortable conversations, And I don't know if it's necessarily uncomfortable for the other person to receive that level of communication, or it's uncomfortable to show up in that vulnerable, with that vulnerability for yourself on a personal level. But it's important that there is this form of communication that goes beyond the ABC. Like, are you eating at mine? Are you sleeping here? Do you want to go to the market on Saturday? Well, this morning I actually bumped my head. I tried to get dressed and I bumped my head. Well, damn, I can see, like, yeah, I see the bump on your head. It's like, it's that day-to-day communication. You can go a long way with that level of communication, but eventually it doesn't build. It doesn't take two individuals into a building situation when it comes to like bringing things together. And so I'm sensing that there is a shift that is not necessarily the first thing you go to when it comes to merging two people. Like, for example, moving in together. That's tough. Two like such independent individuals, bringing them together into one household when they both used to have their own household, and trying to merge that into one. That comes about with some tower moments here and there. But if the tower is constructive, and often it is, and especially with the cards you get after, if it is a constructive form of tower where you like clash and then you cannot move forward without that honest, deeper conversation where you express yourself, that other person express themselves, and you can see where, like, this is where we're missing each other, because my expectation for you was to be here, but you are here, and so we kind of miss, but we both have the intention to meet each other halfway. So that is like alignment, and that comes through communication after sometimes just a blowout. And it really sometimes doesn't even have to do anything. It's just like, because you both are your own strong individual sense of self, sometimes you do with expectations or what the other want and what the other need. And maybe that person kind of have been growing and evolving the last 3 months, and now they kind of are not on that level. So you're trying to meet each other, but you're not. And you both kind of feel neglected and unseen, when basically you're both trying to find each other. You just are sometimes thinking for the other person or assuming, and that is very important if we are dealing with this form of relationships. It's like, don't think for each other too much, even if it comes from a great place, because things flow better when that communication is stimulated before the tower has to fall, before that moment, that standoff moment. But I'm not sensing that it's necessary a bad thing. I really do feel like that's where the groundbreaking changes and breakthroughs happen, and where you merge into one, where you become two people that are individually bringing equally as much to a connection as the other one. You both just show up, and it works because you're not both trying to take on the same role. It's not in competition with each other as well. And what happens there is a beautiful connection for some of you, because I've been kind of on and on about one scenario, and some of you are like, I'm single, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no need to meet nobody. I'm good, because you are definitely good. Like, if you are in your prime time of singlehood right now, you are definitely, June is gonna make you feel a lot really good about that situation. You're going to start to see the fruits and the harvest of spending time and dating yourself for some time. That comes with phases, of course. Of course it comes with phases, but really I'm sensing that you're working on coming together with yourself on a certain level, and it's very emotional. You're trying to meet yourself at a deeper emotional level, which is tough sometimes, because often you're just on the surface, and then it's like, whoa, like you're getting sort of like a magnet pulled into the ocean, under the water, in the deep end, where you can't see anything, but you can only experience becoming one with the ocean of emotions, and then you come out reborn. And I feel like if you have a little bit more of an insight with what those triggers are of those pulls, you're starting to trust yourself on a more on a deeper level, like your sense of self. You start, but respect yourself also on a deeper level, and your emotions, and your needs, and your wants. And I feel like you're, from an energetic standpoint, are capable of showing up in the world as that, and people read that energy from you. Because a lot of times, Scorpio, you give off this energy that people can push a little bit more and a little bit more, and it's fine, and come over, and it's all good. And then all of a sudden, they get like, whoof, like hit with it. And they did not see that coming. Just as much as a lot of times you don't see it coming. You don't know when that moment hits exactly. You can sense it coming a little bit, but you never know the intensity of it until you're in the middle of it. And someone gets pulled under with you, and they don't know how to do that whole rebirth thing like you do. They're just terrified. Like they are. So understanding that people, you just have more natural boundaries, so they won't try to just, teach you to take you into the ocean, or try to like playfully, take you into the ocean, where the moment you are in that ocean, that pool becomes undeniable and you have to go under. And so I feel you learning that part of yourself, but also being vulnerable enough and strong enough, and claiming that space for yourselves. Like, you know what, I'm going to express this. Like this, what happened last week, I really do not want this. Like, this is something I need us, or I need to be changed, because it brings about this and that and this effect within me. And I don't think that's necessary. And I don't even think that's your intention with that person who I'm talking to, But I want to make you aware that it does have that effect. And I need that to be different, because I respect our work relationship, or I respect our friendship, or respect our relationship in general too much in order to have those level of outbursts and things like that. That's really not necessary, because it does change the way I feel about this situation eventually, and I can't undo that damage. Right. Scorpio. I was just channeling. I don't know how. I think I was like, last night, for some reason, I ended up in a reading that I did for you guys in 2018. And I can't believe I've been on here almost like for 5.5 years. I've been on YouTube, and it's been a ride. But in that reading, C was very dominant, and that's probably why, I ended up there. And I didn't listen to the complete reading, but I got the sense of the reading. And I remember, because what happened during that reading, and that was the second time I recorded it, and something went wrong with the recording, and the first card was out, was the Queen of Wands. And then I restarted recording like a fresh reading for you guys in 2018. And it was, the first card was again Queen of Wands that came out. And now here she is again. So I don't know, it was the reading, the April reading for 2018. So if you want to scroll all the way back and when I re-listen to that reading, it might have a message for you guys. Like I said, I didn't listen to the complete reading, but I feel a connection to that reading with this one. Right, so I'm really sensing like June has a lot of surprise elements in store, but it definitely has its best, like it has best intention at heart when it comes to you, Scorpio. Like, you're being energetically protected because you've been through the ringer. Like it's been a lot. Partly stubbornness, fixed sign, obviously, but also really just like it's not been easy having the south node in your sign. Ground yourself, ground yourself, ground yourself, ground yourself, Scorpio. It says being distracted, being unfocused, feeling tired, or feeling irritated and impatient are all signs that you are being ungrounded. Now is the time to become centered and allow Spirit to help you ground yourself and reconnect with the divine source. Beautiful. So, reconnect with that part of yourself. Ground yourself. That is, like I said, I had the same throat problems during that reading as I have with this one. It's interconnected. We're doing a loophole, okay? We're doing a loophole. I don't know. I just feel this loophole through that time zone. I swear to God. Anyways, what I was talking about when it comes to connected to that part of yourself, I'm no longer willing to neglect that and make a part of you feel left out in the cold, unheard, unseen. And for some of you, it's a pattern. It's something that you used to feel as a child. You kind of just grew up and continue to give yourself that same feeling of neglect, or that same feeling of like there's a cycle there. And when you are in a phase in your life where you have to lean on that, like neglecting that part of yourself in order to thrive or in order to survive a situation that you just want to hold on to for some time more, for whatever reason, that's when that ungroundedness comes through. And yes, certain things do give you energy, and also, but sometimes you just want to keep going, because the moment when you start resting, you feel like maybe you can't pick it back up, and you're just afraid that then, towers will start falling down, and you just don't know if you are able to handle that. So there's so much more, and I could go on for another hour and a half talking about this subject, but I think for now I've planted some seeds and something for you guys to work with. And I do definitely think that during the month of June you start to have a deeper insight when it comes to that. You'll have those epiphanies all by yourself. So I hope that was something in here that was helpful for you guys. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you guys watching the reading. Feel free to hit the like button if you felt connected to it, but no pressure when it comes to that. I love you, Scorpio. You guys are special, you just are. Okay, bye, Scorpio. Have a beautiful month of June, and of course, happy Pride Month. Bye.